Let's talk about whether or not this idea of cryptocurrencies being front and center for many traders is warranted, given the fact that we've seen such a huge move in some of the trading volumes around this as the conflict has intensified.
Yeah, it's definitely been a lot of downside volume over the past few days. On Thursday, we saw a large uptick in volume, which is a sign of capitulation. If you have an uptick on volume on a low down move, it pretty much signals that sellers are starting to get washed out. But we're not out of the woods yet. As a technician, we look at the long-term momentum, and that has dipped negative. And support range is around 30 to 35. You said 37. I would agree with that. But we've got some resistance around 40 to 43. Okay, but this year it hasn't performed as a risk-off asset. It's definitely been a risk-on asset, and gold has outperformed over the year to date, and crypto has moved alongside equities. So the volatility has but much been on the downside.
So let's talk about the idea of sanctions hitting the Russian economy, even everyday Russians out there. We've noticed, and there's been reports out there that Russian ruble denominated Bitcoin transactions are surging right now. What exactly does that tell you about the trading dynamic with regard to who's trafficking in this and what it says about the ruble versus Bitcoin?
Yeah, it's tough to tell the source of that. We just got the data out of Kaiko. I saw that earlier. It just shows that there has been a sort of flight towards cryptocurrencies in a way. But we talked to our Russian correspondents at CoinDesk, and the situation on the ground is pretty much getting cash out, of the ATMs that are not working or running out of cash. A lot of these folks don't have savings, so the access to crypto hasn't been as fluid as one would expect. So you probably think that these are larger individuals of sorts, but we then saw the tweet from Russia's official saying that, they want to definitely block access to the wallets in coordination with the exchanges from Russians and ordinary citizens. So it's definitely a crazy situation on the ground, and we're watching that closely.
How effectively could cryptocurrencies actually be in helping to facilitate transactions, helping to move financial value around, given the fact that we have sanctions in place? Now, sanctions, granted, that are maybe not directly targeting oil and gas, but many other aspects of the Russian economy.
Yeah, folks look at it as a separate payment rail of sorts. It's just, sort of moving value across the blockchain. And hopefully that will be recognized by the responding party. So it is sort of a separate network for payment that some folks have used, but for the most part, it is a store of value. So over time, folks want to, translate their dollars or rubles over to Bitcoin and hope that that will appreciate and be a source of payments going forward. That's what the expectation is. But definitely, SWIFT and those existing networks that are more efficient and linked within the banking system is definitely priority. And crypto, I think, is pretty much on the back burner for now. We're seeing those small spikes in volume, but regulation is a huge headwind, and we're watching that closely.